scratch bush. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Nothing. Oh, jeez. Ow, what the? Oh. Hold on a second. Wow. I don't know what it is that I just walked into, but my hand is on fire right now. I just brushed up against this leaf. The stem is covered in spikes. Coyote and Mario?
Go for Mario.
Hey, I think I found a stinging plant. Just stung myself in the hand.
Alright, we're on our way.
Could be what they call the evil woman, which is a stinging plant species in Central and South America. I don't know what this is. There's no other plants like it. Alright, you guys coming over? Yeah, I can't see my hand. Shine some light on my hand real quick. Yeah, my hand is like on fire at the moment. As you know, I'm no stranger to pain. And that plant's gonna mess me up. But do you know what else is a pain? Losing a car key and having to go to a specialized dealership just to get a replacement. I mean, look at all these cars. I don't have time for this. I'm too busy doing all kinds of busy things. Thanks to today's sponsor, Car Keys Express, I can skip the dealership hassle and replace standard keys, remote keys, and even smart keys without ever leaving home. Whether you've misplaced your spare or you lost your last key, don't worry about it. Car Keys Express has got you covered. This is crazy. There used to be keys on here, and I have no idea where they went. Their Snap Key service lets you make car keys with your phone. Just take a photo of your key, send it in, and a new cut key will be sent straight to your home, along with their do-it-yourself installer to quickly and easily pair it with your car. It's easy enough for anyone to use, and it's guaranteed to work. And you can save up to 75% off of dealership prices. And if you would rather have an expert just handle it for you, no sweat. Just schedule an appointment to have an expert come to you to cut and pair your keys. So if you need a new car key, make sure to check out Car Keys Express. Make sure to visit cke.co/bravewilderness for your exclusive 10% off at checkout. That's cke.co/bravewilderness. Thank you to Car Keys Express for sponsoring today's video. Okay, well, every once in a while, the rainforests of Costa Rica give you a blessing in disguise. I'm probably the only person who would be excited of the fact that my hand just brushed up against a plant, and I always come prepared, no matter where I am. And I actually have some Ziploc bags and a pair of gloves so that we can actually get one of these leaves. Without knowing what it is, I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. So we're not going to film the sting now. We're probably going to do this under daylight, but getting the sample right now is probably smart. I cannot believe it. I literally just brushed up against this piece of the leaf right here. And as I was kind of looking up underneath for frogs or caterpillars or any other little insects, we are trying to do some caterpillar sting episodes, so I'm always looking on the undersides of leaves. And in the process, found a plant to get stung by. Let me get one of these leaves off here. Snip here. Gotcha. Look at that. Oh yeah. That is definitely a leaf. That means business. Wow, it is covered in some pretty robust trichomes, which you're not going to be able to see on that camera, so we'll have to get out the macros, but there it is. That's the sample. And now we got to find out what kind of plant it is before I actually take a full-on nettling. And we're back. After last night's chaos, we knew that an episode had to be filmed featuring this leaf. Now, I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that this is not what they call the evil woman. It is a different stinging plant known as Urera bassifera, or more commonly known as the scratch bush. You're going to find out why. So don't be disappointed. This is a plant that is going to pack a double punch. Now, similar to the devil's toilet paper and the gimpy gimpy, it is covered in spines and little nettles that are known as trichomes. Now, the second that those hit your skin, the tip breaks off and the poison leaks into your skin. The poison specifically in this plant is formic acid, strangely enough, which is also found in a number of different ant species. And this plant, believe it or not, shares a mutualistic relationship with trapjaw ants. Now, we did see some leaves last night that looked like they were cut full of holes, almost like a Swiss cheese leaf. That's because caterpillars love to feast on this plant species. The trapjaw ants then come in and eat the caterpillars. You call that a mutualistic relationship. Good for the ants, good for the plants. But it's not like the devil's toilet paper or the gimpy gimpy in that it's going to grow in big masses, like a huge jumbling together of these plants. It's actually more of a solo plant, and the way they grow in the rainforest is when the canopy opens up, like if a big tree falls over and light hits the basin of the floor. This plant will grow up in that sunlight. Believe it or not, they hate shade. I think I've kind of put this off long enough. So if you guys are ready, it's time to rank this, the scratch bush, on the plant sting pain index. How does it compare next to the devil's toilet paper, the gimpy gimpy, and the stinging nettle? I have a feeling based on last night's brush with this leaf, it's going to be pretty bad. All right, here we go. Now, I did shave my arm. Not only did I buzz the hair off, but I used a straight razor and got a real clean canvas. So we're going to see any of the nettles that are left in my skin, and of course those welts after the fact. Okay, here we go. I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the nettle zone with the scratch bush. 1, 2, I'm sorry, forearm. 3. Oh! Holy mackerel. Okay, yeah. Now pat that around there. We're going to get the full effect. Oh, wow, it's like really, really hot sandpaper. Okay, let's see if that's going to enough. Ooh, hot diggity dog, that turns on real quick. Wow, okay, definitely worse than the devil's toilet paper. No question about that. And a big difference, big difference between this and the stinging nettle. Stinging nettle, I would say, almost feels like pop rocks going off in your mouth, and it almost tingles and itches a little bit. And I took a lot of them. Like, I went further than I did with the gimpy gimpy. Now, the gimpy gimpy is supposed to be the most painful stinging plant on the planet. And after I went through that experience, the nerve damage lasted for almost 6 months. I don't think this is going to be nearly as bad based on what I read, which is why I'm like, all right, let me get it a bit more of a full effect. Oh yeah, but you can definitely see that the redness and the lumps are beginning to form. Wow, it's throbbing, just throbbing. So devil's toilet paper was instantaneous, but not the same amount of heat. This is more heat pain than it is sharp pain. I would say the devil's toilet paper and the gimpy gimpy were a little bit more electrical as compared to this. This is just hot fire.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Now, when those trichome tips break off and the nettles get into your skin, what you don't want to do is scratch at it, because all that's going to do is drive those little nearly invisible hairs deeper and deeper into your body. Like you feel like you want to brush it off of you, but that is not going to help the situation. I mean, we are talking easily 50 nettles that ended up into my arm, and this is just part 1. I want you to keep that in mind. So the burning sensation is just the start of my journey. Within 24 hours, these are going to turn into pussing welts that are going to be itchy. Again, that name, scratch bush. And the scientific name for this, I wonder if it's similar to the urticating hairs that come off of the back of a tarantula. Now, those little hairs that flick off can get into the eyes, the mouth, and the nose and cause irritation. So the scientific name for this plant may come from that idea of urticating, like, wow, lightheaded. Lightheaded all of a sudden out of nowhere, kind of lost my train of thought. Oh man. Wow, look at right here, like this whole line. So when you look at the underside of the leaf, the bigger spines that run down the center, those larger trichomes are like little dragon's teeth, razor sharp, like hypodermic needles, and the penetration into my arm is effortless, right? Especially once any hair that could provide any protection is shaved off. I could see how, like, if you got this on your face or your neck or near your eyes, like, you would really begin to panic quickly. All right, I'm gonna get up for a second, walk around, shake my arm for a bit. Let's let this set in. We'll check back in 10 minutes. Whew. Okay, 10 minutes in, and like I mentioned earlier, the scratch bush is a 1-2 punch. And that first punch, bam, walloped me like Mike Tyson to the forearm because it is still an incredible pain. However, I read that it's actually the 24-hour after effect that can be worse. Now, it all depends how my body reacts to the poison, but my arm may break out in pussing blisters. So we're gonna continue to document and find out just how bad the after effects of the scratch bush really are. Well, it has been 24 hours since I was nettled by the scratch bush. And as you can see from my arm, the reaction 24 hours later isn't that bad. I have 2 little blisters that have formed, and to be honest, they don't itch at all. Now, my body's pretty resilient to a lot of things, and to be honest, I don't even really get poison ivy, so it is possible that my body did not react to the scratch bush the way that it does with some people. However, it's certainly not a plant that you want to run into. When it comes to the level of pain that I experienced right after the nettling, I put it probably just at about the level of the devil's toilet paper. Nowhere near the gimpy gimpy, but it's definitely more potent than the stinging nettle that we have in the United States. Now, is there a more painful stinging plant here in Costa Rica? I have heard rumors of the evil woman. And if we can find that on the Osa Peninsula, I have a feeling that it may take the top marks for most painful stinging plant here in the tropics. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.